During this presentation, I will discuss 3 points: note-taking formats, taking notes during your lecture, and taking notes from your textbook. Let's get started. Before diving in to all the methods that will be discussed, it is most important that we talk about organization. Keeping all your notes for a class in one place is an essential tip. Paper notes should be stored in either a course binder or folder. It is important not to accidentally mix up your class notes or store them in the wrong place. To avoid this, be sure you have specific course folders or binders and that you place your notes in the corresponding place. Online notes should be organized in the same manner as paper notes. If you prefer to take class notes electronically, first be sure to create folders for each class. For example, they can be called Biology 1720 Notes or General Chemistry Notes. Be sure to properly title your notes so that they are easy to navigate. For example, Lecture 2, Chapter 3, Amino Acids. On the left of this slide is a clear picture of how you should not store your notes. Having a cluttered environment with no clear or specific place to keep your course notes is a recipe for disaster. On the right side is an excellent representation of the proper way to store your course notes. Having clear binders or folders for each class will make your life as a student much easier. Let us begin with the first strategy, outline method. This allows students to organize the information presented to them in a highly structured and logical manner. It resembles the skeleton of a textbook chapter or lecture and serves as a cohesive study guide when preparing for exams. When using the outline method, always be sure to begin with the main topic of discussion, then the subtopic or subtopics, and finally any supporting facts or thoughts. Shown on this slide is an example of the outline method put to proper use. Highlighted in yellow is the main topic to be discussed, defining intelligence. Underneath the main topic is where you should be writing further information on the main topic. In pink is the subtopic, fluid intelligence. And indented below our subtopic, we have a supporting fact, examples of fluid intelligence. The outline method is an excellent note-taking format for many courses and is the more obvious choice for classes within the liberal arts such as philosophy or psychology. The outline method can also be put to use when taking notes for STEM-related courses such as biology or chemistry. However, when utilizing the outline method for such classes, you'll want to be sure to add diagrams and/or visuals for a better understanding. Here you can see electronic notes from an anatomy and physiology class. The student clearly uses the outline method here. The main topic is the 3 types of skeletal tissue. The main topic is the 3 types of muscle tissue. The subtopics are smooth, cardiac, and skeletal, and indented under each subtopic, the student has supporting facts and thoughts. Nonetheless, for a stronger understanding, the student has added a diagram of the 3 types of muscle tissue down below. Again, this is a highly recommended method for STEM-related courses. Moving on to the next strategy, taking notes during lecture. When it comes to taking notes during your course lecture, it is up to you to decide on the form that best fits you. Lecture notes can be taken in 2 separate formats, on paper or online. Research shows that students tend to retain more information when taking notes by hand, and in the case of classes such as math or chemistry, taking lecture notes by hand is the more obvious choice. However, students generally can type faster than they can write, making online notes a lot more appealing, especially for classes like biology or anatomy. Shown on this slide are examples of handwritten and electronic notes. It is recommended that students handwrite their notes for courses such as chemistry, math, or physics, while electronic notes are okay for courses such as the biological sciences and social sciences. To continue, during the lecture, it can be difficult to discern what to write down. Though you may feel like you'll remember what is being presented to you, chances are that after a full day of lectures, you won't. The key to taking notes during lecture is to write down only the main and important points. Many times, your professor will give you clues about significant information you need to write down. For example, they may say you need to know X and Y for the exam. Anytime your professor repeats themselves, or anything your professor takes the time to demonstrate. Now we've made it to the last strategy, taking notes from your textbook. It is important to know that copying down information from your textbook is not a strong strategy for learning material. Instead, you'll want to try out strategies such as taking notes from memory. This includes reading through the sections of your textbook and following up by thinking about what you just read and taking notes from your own memory. You can also mark directly on the text. If you have a printed text that is rented, simply use a pencil to underline or circle keywords and phrases. If your text is online, most digital programs will allow annotating, such as highlighting keywords and phrases. It is essential that you be able to recognize keywords and phrases as you take down notes from your textbook. Shown in this slide is an excerpt from a microbiology textbook. Notice that the bold words typically indicate importance, and the following sentence are just as significant. Here, microbiology is a bolded word, and you see down at the bottom, this is an important sentence that you'll want to notate in your notes. And that ends our discussion on taking effective notes. Thank you for listening. I'd like to leave you with one of my favorite quotes from William Crawford. Being a student is easy. Learning requires actual work. As you embark on your journey towards academic success, please keep this statement in mind. If you need any further academic support or have any additional questions, please always feel free to contact the UNT Dallas Learning Commons. Call or text us at 469-630-1419. For writing questions, you can email us at lcwriting@untdallas.edu. For STEM questions, you can email us at lcstem@untdallas.edu. We hope to see you soon. Thank you.